Every night, millions of people look up at the stars. They seem close, almost within reach. Tiny points of light scattered across the darkness. It's easy to imagine that if we built a fast enough spaceship, we could arrive there in a matter of days, maybe weeks. But the truth is far more astonishing. The nearest star to Earth is so unimaginably far away that the human mind struggles to comprehend the distance. And once you truly understand how far it is, you'll never look at the night sky the same way again. Let's start with the only star we've ever visited, the Sun. It feels incredibly distant. After all, it's about 150 million kilometers from Earth. Light, the fastest thing in the universe, takes just over 8 minutes to travel from the Sun to our planet. That means every sunrise you see actually happened 8 minutes earlier. Even at that relatively small distance, it would take today's fastest spacecraft months to reach the Sun. Now, imagine traveling beyond it, past Mercury, past Venus, past Earth, beyond Mars, crossing the asteroid belt, passing Jupiter,
Saturn,
Uranus,
Neptune,
then continuing through the frozen darkness far beyond Pluto. You still wouldn't be anywhere close to another star. The solar system is enormous, but the gap between stars is on an entirely different scale. Our nearest stellar neighbor is Proxima Centauri, a small red dwarf located approximately 4.24 light-years away. At first, that number doesn't sound particularly impressive. 4.24. It almost seems close, until you understand what a light-year actually is. A light-year isn't a measure of time. It's a measure of distance. It represents how far light travels in one entire year. Light moves at nearly 300,000 kilometers per second. In just 1 second, it could circle Earth more than 7 times. In a single minute, it travels about 18 million kilometers. In 1 hour, more than 1 billion kilometers. Now multiply that by every hour, every day, for an entire year. The result is almost impossible to imagine. 1 light-year equals approximately 9.46 trillion kilometers. That means Proxima Centauri is over 40 trillion kilometers away. Try to picture that number. If you could drive a car at 100 kilometers per hour without ever stopping, day and night, every single day of the year, it would take you more than 45 million years to reach the nearest star. Modern airliners wouldn't do much better. Even the fastest fighter jets would still require millions of years. Space changes everything we think we know about distance. Even the fastest spacecraft humanity has ever launched, NASA's Parker Solar Probe, can reach speeds of around 635,000 kilometers per hour. That's unbelievably fast. Fast enough to travel from New York to London in less than a minute. Yet even at that incredible speed, a journey to Proxima Centauri would still take roughly 7,000 years.
Think about that.
The pyramids of Egypt are only about 4,500 years old. Recorded human history isn't even long enough to cover the trip. Entire civilizations would rise, disappear, and be forgotten before the spacecraft finally arrived. And here's something even stranger. Proxima Centauri isn't an isolated star. It's actually part of a 3-star system known as Alpha Centauri. Its 2 larger companions, Alpha Centauri A and Alpha Centauri B, orbit each other while Proxima circles them from an enormous distance. From a planet orbiting Proxima, those 2 brilliant stars would appear as dazzling lights in the sky, a completely different view of the universe. But despite being our closest neighbors, we've never sent a spacecraft anywhere near them. Not because we don't want to, but because the distances are simply overwhelming. Still, scientists haven't given up. In fact, some of the most ambitious projects ever imagined are designed to make that impossible journey a reality. And if they succeed, humanity could take its very first step toward another star. So, if the nearest star is so impossibly far away, will humanity ever reach it? Surprisingly, scientists believe the answer might be yes. But not with the technology we use today. Modern rockets are incredibly powerful. They've taken astronauts to the moon, sent robotic explorers to every major planet in the solar system, and even launched spacecraft that are now traveling through interstellar space. The two most famous are Voyager 1 and Voyager 2. Launched in 1977, they have traveled farther than any human-made objects in history. Voyager 1 is now more than 25 billion kilometers from Earth. It has crossed the boundary of the heliosphere and entered interstellar space. An extraordinary achievement. Yet here's the astonishing reality. Despite traveling for nearly 50 years, Voyager 1 hasn't even completed 1% of the journey to Proxima Centauri. At its current speed, it would need more than 70,000 years to arrive. That's longer than all of recorded human civilization. Clearly, if we ever hope to visit another star, we need an entirely different approach. One of the most ambitious ideas is called Breakthrough Starshot. Instead of building a giant spacecraft, the concept is almost the opposite. Scientists propose sending tiny spacecraft no larger than a computer chip. Each one would carry miniature cameras, sensors, and communication systems. But here's the revolutionary part. Instead of using rocket engines, these spacecraft would be pushed by an enormous array of powerful lasers based on Earth. The lasers would strike an ultra-thin reflective sail attached to the probe. Light itself would become the engine. As billions of photons hit the sail, they would gradually accelerate the spacecraft to nearly 20% the speed of light. That's around 60,000 kilometers every second. Fast enough to circle Earth almost 1.5 times in a single second.
At that speed,
The journey to Proxima Centauri could take just over 20 years. For the first time in history, a mission to another star would become possible within a human lifetime. Of course, there are enormous challenges. The spacecraft would need to survive collisions with microscopic particles traveling at incredible speeds. Communicating across more than 4 light-years would require unimaginably sensitive instruments. And slowing down at the destination remains one of the biggest unsolved engineering problems. Still, the fact that scientists are seriously studying these ideas shows how much our ambitions have grown. But perhaps the greatest reason to visit Proxima Centauri isn't the star itself. It's what orbits around it. In 2016, astronomers discovered Proxima Centauri b, a rocky planet at least slightly more massive than Earth. Even more exciting, it orbits within the star's so-called habitable zone, where temperatures could allow liquid water to exist under the right conditions. Could there be oceans? An atmosphere? Perhaps even life? No one knows. Current telescopes cannot show us the surface. At this distance, the planet appears as nothing more than a tiny signal hidden in the star's light. Yet that tiny world has completely changed humanity's view of the cosmos. For the first time, we know that an Earth-sized planet exists around the closest star to our own. And somewhere beyond Proxima, there are thousands more stars, each separated by similarly unimaginable distances, each potentially surrounded by planets we've never seen, each reminding us just how vast our galactic neighborhood truly is. The nearest star may seem impossibly far away today, but history has shown that every great journey begins with a single step, and perhaps humanity has already taken the first one. And perhaps that's the most incredible realization of all. The nearest star isn't simply far away. It completely changes our understanding of the universe. Every science fiction movie makes interstellar travel look almost effortless. A spaceship activates its engines, the stars blur, and within moments, another solar system appears. Reality is very different. The universe doesn't just challenge our technology. It challenges our imagination. The distances between stars are so enormous that even light, the fastest thing that can exist, needs years to cross them. And yet, Proxima Centauri is only the beginning. The Milky Way contains between 100 and 400 billion stars. Our galaxy alone stretches about 100,000 light-years across. If traveling just 4.24 light-years to the nearest star is an incredible challenge, imagine crossing the entire galaxy. Even at the speed of light, the journey would take 100,000 years. To put that into perspective, when the first modern humans were beginning to spread across Earth, light leaving one side of the Milky Way still hadn't reached the other. That's how unimaginably vast our galaxy truly is. And beyond the Milky Way, things become even more astonishing. Our nearest major galactic neighbor, the Andromeda Galaxy, lies about 2.5 million light-years away. The light entering your eyes tonight left Andromeda long before humans even existed, long before the first stone tools, long before our ancestors walked the Earth. Looking into space is literally looking into the past. Every star is a time machine. Every galaxy is a message from another era of the universe. But perhaps the greatest surprise isn't how far away the stars are. It's that, despite these impossible distances, humanity is already reaching toward them. The James Webb Space Telescope is analyzing the atmospheres of planets orbiting distant stars. Astronomers are discovering new exoplanets almost every week. Some are larger than Jupiter. Some are smaller than Earth. Some may even have conditions suitable for life. We've gone from knowing about only our own solar system to identifying more than 5,000 confirmed exoplanets in just a few decades. And that number continues to grow every year. One day, powerful future telescopes may photograph continents on distant worlds. They may detect oceans, weather, even chemical signatures that could hint at biology. Long before humans physically reach another star, our instruments may reveal what awaits us there. And perhaps one day, centuries from now, a tiny robotic spacecraft will finally arrive at Proxima Centauri. After decades of silent travel through interstellar space, it will send back humanity's first close-up images of another solar system. Imagine what that moment will feel like. For the first time in history, our species would no longer be confined to a single star. It would mark the beginning of a completely new chapter in human exploration. Every great adventure in history began with a destination that once seemed unreachable. Crossing oceans, reaching the poles, landing on the moon. Each achievement was once considered impossible. Perhaps interstellar travel is simply the next step. Not for our generation, perhaps not even for the next, but someday. Because curiosity has always driven humanity forward. We see something beyond the horizon, and we cannot resist trying to reach it. So the next time you look at the stars, remember this. The nearest one is more than 40 trillion kilometers away. A distance so vast that it humbles everything we've ever built. Yet despite that, we've already begun planning the journey. Because that's what humans do. We explore, we question, we imagine, and sooner or later, we find a way. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss our next journey through the greatest mysteries of space. Because somewhere beyond the darkness, beyond the unimaginable distances, another sun is shining. And one day, humanity may finally see it up close.